Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and it's my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So tonight we are going to review a tribute film from Friday the 13th called Never Hike Alone 2, which was released this year.
In October, if you will. So.
Yeah. Huh?
Now, this is a fan-based film, I gather. Is that right, Sarah?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And it's made by a friend of mine named Vincente DiSanti.
DiSanti. D-I-S-A-N-T-I. DiSanti.
Yeah, sorry if I forgot his name in the past, guys. Yeah. Sorry for that.
Now, having said all that, Vincent made Never Hike Alone.
Yeah, the first one.
It's a couple of years ago. Then he had Never Hike Alone in the Snow, was it?
Yeah.
And he's done some other things as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Are they all fan-based?
Not all fan-based. These
fan
ones are just the fan-based.
Because he mentioned about Michael Myers and different things there as
well.
well.
I mentioned he did a sort of a partnership fan-based movie with Nightmare on Elm Street. One.
Okay, right, yeah.
That's different.
So he played a safety or something, did he?
No.
No, he didn't do that. Okay.
He was just
fine.
Assisting.
Okay. Anyway, Vincent wrote this. He wrote the other one as well. Never Hike Alone 1. Mm-hmm. He directed that one and this one as well. Mm-hmm. Now, I thought he would have produced it, but I know we got a lot of producers here, so I'll read through all the producers just so I don't miss anybody.
Right.
Rakefet Abizel, he's a producer. Mm-hmm. Nicole Mathews, associate producer. Curtis Medina, associate producer. Brittany Montero is a producer. Mm-hmm. Brandon Spence is an associate producer. James Sweet is a co-producer. And Paul Winter is a co-producer. There you go. All these people jump in there because they believe in what Vincent is trying to do.
Right.
Now, Zach Rabia, sound pretty groovy.
Yeah. Before we continue on, guys, I think in my heart that Vincent is on the right track in his film career.
I think he's a fine filmmaker. Now, this is a fan-based film, right?
Yes.
Now, when you see fan-based films, usually a bit cheesy and amateurish. This one comes over like an A-grade film.
Like
like it was made for cinema.
Like if it was renamed Friday the 13th, it would be.
You can slide in there.
It would be a great addition to the story.
And it'd fit in. The directorship, the story, everything is really, really good. Now this guy, I haven't met him. I don't know. Sarah communicates with him. He's a talented man.
Yeah. Also, he's also casted two people who were in the original Friday the 13th. Thom Mathews, who plays Tommy Jarvis.
He gets around, doesn't he?
And the sheriff, another Vincent.
Yeah, Vincent Gostarafero.
Yeah, he plays a sheriff in this one. Sheriff Ricky, I think his name is.
Yeah, Gustafaro, I think it's right. Can't pronounce it properly. Something like that. Anyway.
So both men are in. Well, both Thomas he's been in all three movies, obviously so far. So it's kind of great to see him again. He was really attractive back in the day. He was really good looking, and I like the fact that he's come back on board for this final movie.
Yeah. We thought he was going to get killed in it the way it was going. He wasn't going real good at the end of it, but he survived.
Of course, he's like in this movie. He's the Ahab in this movie.
Yeah, we always need Ahab in these things, don't we?
Yeah, most guys would often have a final girl, but he's the Ahab, where he is the guy who watches over the town, trying to figure out if Jason will resurface.
A little bit like What's Mahoots in Halloween.
Of course, the sheriff, the local sheriff, he blames.
He thinks
it's all Tommy's fault.
He thinks maybe Tommy's the killer. He's not real sure, because every time a dead body shows up, he's in the area. But he's actually in the area because he's chasing the antagonist, which happens to be JASON VOORHEES.
Yeah. Anyway, and it has a good conclusion on it, because this one, I never thought, what would be the chance that would Jason be able to finally make his end. I think this was it was the best way to conclude it, that the only way to end his existence is to have something to do with his mother's dead head.
Yeah, there's with Jason and Michael Myers, there's no real explanation as to why we can't kill them. We think there's some sort of supernatural link.
Some kind of connection.
Yeah. Especially with Jason, because he was supposed to have drowned, but he keeps coming back. Michael Myers is just a nutcase who can't be killed.
Yeah.
You try to kill him, stab him, whatever, he keeps coming back for more.
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line?
The other two movies, Never Hike Alone and Never Hike in the Snow, they sort of emerge into this one. Like, if it was sort of all three movies were put together into one big major feature, we would be looking at... No, well, that plays a big part because that would be the opening part where her son disappears. And then there's Kyle, the vlogger, who goes out in the middle of nowhere to try to vlog about his experience. And then we have this final one where it indicates that Jason's resurfaced and he's out on the prowl, and he wants to kill anyone who probably knows about him.
Bugger.
Or whoever enters his territory.
Anyway, I'm going to go through a couple of people. Now, I can't tell you anything about the budget, and it hasn't gone to the cinemas. Actually, I believe at the moment it's only available on YouTube. Is that right?
That's right.
Now, Never Hike Alone has actually been... it's available on eBay at the moment, but not on Amazon. So there's a good chance you might find on some streaming services and other places. But eBay does have Never Hike Alone 1, so Never Hike Alone 2 may show it if you want a better copy. But at the moment, you can see it on YouTube. And only actually, something said, just getting back to the thing, it goes for an hour and 12 minutes, which is a bit short for a nowadays feature film, but it's not a bad innings for a fan-based film. They cut out all the frilly bits and get straight into the story, which is good. I can't fault this. So anyway, I'll go through a couple of other things here, actors and stuff. And now, Thom Mathews plays Tommy James.
Tommy Jarvis.
Sorry, Jarvis. My mistake. Slip of the tongue. Did it again. Alzheimer's. Now, Vincent. I think it's Gus Trefero. Not sure. Sorry, Vincent. He plays Sheriff Rick Cologne. Now, Drew Leahy plays Kyle McLeod. He's the intrepid bushwalking camper type guy who gets dragged into this little storyline. Now, Vincente DiSanti plays Ghost Jason Voorhees. However...
And another stuntman does it too.
I said there's also Brian Forrest plays Ghost Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, so they kind of...
they
share the burden.
They share the wear a bit, yeah. You can fall over this time. I got a bruise on my arm. Okay.
Well, you can just... Considering that most of the time in this movie, he's often appears out of nowhere and then he disappears.
Well, and if you're doing camera A and B in two different locations, it's really handy to have two people walking around.
Of course. I'm kind of glad I never did this because if I was playing the lead villain in this one and I had to wear a mask or a hoodie all the time, it will prove difficult because I would have to yell. I would have to be on the other side of the camera where I have to say cut or action. I
was going to say, if you're doing two locations at the same time, like if you're doing one in the bush and one at a hospital or somewhere else, you can actually have two teams, have two Jason Voorhees actors in two different locations. That would save a lot of time. Yeah. So I'm walking through the woods. There you go. Yeah.
So, moving on.
I can't think of anything else. You might as well tell the story.
So the story takes place with Tommy Jarvis, who is suffering from nightmares of him when he was younger, when he first encountered Jason when he was a little kid. And this is not really in the movie, so you guys know. This is just a new added bit of footage of just as a bit of to get the blood circulating. And then we see later on the fully grown Tommy Jarvis, who is working as a sort of ambulance driver. And he's having to cope with the whole... He's hunting down Jason, and of course, the local sheriff, thinks he's a nutball.
Or the killer.
Yeah. He was already arrested, which indicates that he may have been either released because of lack of evidence, which is often the case.
He gets later on in the movie. He gets rearrested anyway.
He kind of got arrested a couple of times
but
for
then
even
Jason
mental
shows
disturbances.
Aha. Anyway, Sarah, do you want to tell the story?
Yeah. Anyway, after he got arrested the second time in the Never Hike or Snow, I guess he got released because one of the deputies went missing and presumed dead, supposedly. But we don't know that because the sheriff continues to make out that Jason is a myth or a legend.
He thinks it's a lot of crap.
Anyway, the doctor, Dr. Diana, who is also has a son missing, and from the Never Hike Alone in the snow, she lost a son, and he's presumed missing, obviously, not dead.
Well, yeah. They haven't found his body, so...
Yeah. And the sheriff tells her this, obviously. And of course, later on, we see Tommy is called in to pick up a dead hitchhiker. Well, not dead. He's actually an injured hitchhiker and some campers who were camping out near Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
And this is...
Why would you go there? Yeah,
beats
got
me.
bad history
But
of
bear in mind, they probably renamed the camp Crystal Lake to something else, obviously, for media purposes.
Camp Bloodfest.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, soon enough, we get our encounter with Jason, and Tommy encounters him. He tries to fight him off, and his other guys, who were other ambulance attendees on scene, were also killed. Of course, Tommy swings in, as he often does, and he drives Kyle out of there. Of course, Kyle, being the likely witness to Jason's reappearance, is a likable witness and might help, Tommy to convince everyone that Jason's alive and stuff like that.
Alive and well, living in downtown.
Of course, the sheriff appears down at the scene and just pretty much blames Tommy and thinks he's...
It's not your fault. You're a killer.
Eventually...
That saved a lot of paperwork.
Using their... Carl's GoPro camera, they were able to find some... the footage that was shot on there to
show something.
To shows how he kind of finds... They kind of see Jason Voorhees' mum's dead head, or
Yeah, he found it in one of the old buildings at the camp. Yeah.
And I think this is where Tommy realizes that this is the key to
the link. The missing link.
The supposed link to Jason's keeps coming back ever so often and continues killing. Well, maybe not. We don't know why he continues killing.
Everybody needs a hobby.
Anyway, he makes a point of taking Kyle back to Crystal Lake to find the head in order to destroy it, obviously. But then the sheriff and his deputies arrive there, and they plan on taking either Tommy into custody or killing him. I think the latter. And then he gets a call by one of his deputies outside saying there's a maniac moving around, damaging cars.
Yes, and all of a sudden the lights go out and different things. All the creepy stuff happens. When there's some supernatural agency involved.
Jason Voorhees appears and starts swinging his machete. Machete. He has an axe in this one.
He picks up a machete later on, and also a bow and arrow thing, archery stuff.
Yeah, and he starts swinging at the deputies, including some of the hospital staff, and only the sheriff doesn't get touched.
And he's looking at it and says, "Ooh, that's Jason."
He then comes outside and eventually Tommy explains to him, I told you so, I told you, and I told you, and I told you again, he is alive. Stuff like that. And he's saying, oh my gosh, I didn't believe you. Oh my gosh.
He never apologized.
He didn't apologize. No. So, of course, they realize all their cars are damaged, and the only car they could possibly get away in is the ambulance. But they have to replace what did they say he had to replace? They had to replace something inside the car to make it go, even with the wheels being busted.
Oh, I can't remember now. Okay.
So it's up to them to get to the ambulance to get it repaired, while our fearful sheriff,
He's wetting his pants.
wetting his parents, decides to confront Jason using his pistols,
trusty revolver or whatever.
trying to
He's going bang, 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 bang. He's going, oh, shit.
make him sound like he's Dirty Harry or one of those westerns.
Yep, and guess what? Didn't do a bloody thing. And he even shot him. Didn't he shoot under the chin up through his head?
He shot him in the chest, probably in the head.
You had to get me up under there. He's,
Yeah.
that'll do him.
No,
Didn't work. No.
And eventually, Jason gives him his, gives him his own end, obviously.
Yeah, well, Sheriff, another good man
whatever.
down. Well, not a good man.
Anyway, our heroes get back to the camp, and where Tommy gives his marching orders to Diana to head back in the van to get help, while Carl and him search the camp for the head. Obviously, of course, Diana rejoins the fight eventually later on in the movie, obviously. But then who else joins in is none other than Jason Voorhees, who's walked such a long distance back to the camp.
And that's why I got two guys. The other guy's having sleep. He's
Probably.
very tired.
So anyway, they eventually find the head, and of course, Tommy orders Carl to destroy it, but they had to run in with dear old Jason along the way, so they split up, and Tommy gets a few arrows in him, as I said,
He got his shoulders?
in his shoulders and probably in his low abdomen.
Yeah. You had 2 or 3 arrows in him. Sounded a little bit like a porcupine by the end of the show.
Yeah. Anyway, eventually Carl is sort of near the lake, and eventually Tommy was able to fight back against Jason, but of course, Diana actually slung an axe into the back of him. Of course, Tommy says, "We must get away because it's not over yet." That
just annoyed me a bit.
Yeah. Of course, they get to the lake, and Tommy orders Carl to destroy the head. Of course, when Carl's just looking over and says, "Okay, speak for yourself. How am I going to destroy it? I don't have a lighter. What do I do?" Of course, suddenly out of the lake, Jason appears out of the lake, and he tries to kill Carl. But eventually, Carl uses the head as a bit of a shield, and Jason slings his axe into it.
He destroys his own mother's head.
Of course, at this point, then Tommy appears behind him and sort of cuts Jason Voorhees' head off, and it lands into the water. And Jason's body kind of flops over and then falls into the water. Then we cross over to the next morning. While Tommy's healing from his injuries, the police, the other deputies arrive, and they pull out the dead remains of the deputy and Diana's, dead son, and other dead bodies that were supposedly
found. All these dead bodies in the campsite.
Yeah, indicating how many people. I think it was about 6 or 7. I'm not sure.
There was quite a few there. Yeah.
Kyle approaches Tommy, who's looking into the water, seeing his younger self in the water, which indicates now he's no longer seeing.
He's not seeing Jason's image.
Yeah, Jason's image in the water, meaning finally Crystal Lake is at peace.
Now.
Supposedly. Then Carl produces the GoPro camera, and he wonders
what to do with this.
Yeah. He then takes the opportunity to throw it into the water.
He has a very, very good pitch in the middle of the lake there. So
as
he's now free of Jason.
Carl meditates that he doesn't plan on going hiking for a while.
And actually, he was doing vlogs, wasn't he, or something or other, screaming or something.
Vlogging.
And later on, at the end of it, there's some guy commenting, his blogs disappeared. He aren't there anymore. He's given up. I'm going to take Gabe where he left off. Oh no. Sequel time.
Anyway, we then do as the credits before the credits roll in this, and before that scene, we see Jason's body in the water, and we see bubbles indicating.
Oh yes, the bubbles come out of the mask.
Yeah.
Okay. He's got a dead head.
And we also see next between the the head and the body is the GoPro camera.
Yes, that was a good shot, wasn't it? Yes. Right next to the body.
Then we flash the credits, and that's the end of the movie, obviously.
Cool.
I got to admit, though, this one was a good conclusion on it, and I do hope that Vincent will come up with some more exciting movies too.
And it doesn't feel like a fan-based movie.
No, it seems like a good continuation.
It feels like a real movie, not just a couple of well-meaning people running around trying to make a fan-based film. It's a really good shot.
Agreed.
And that's going to affect the way I grade it in a few minutes. I think Vincent is a force to reckon with. He's going to be the next... Carpenter, Cameron,
maybe Wes Craven, maybe even John Carpenter, or the guy who Sean Cunningham, who did, I think it's Cunningham, who did the original Friday the 13th.
Oh, okay, cool.
I might be wrong,
but this guy, he's a talented man. Vincent, if you're listening, I hope you do. I hope someone who listens to these podcasts knows Vincent DiSanti and says, "Hey, guess what?" And let him have a listen to it, because really, I like to pat the man on the back. I mean, I think Sarah talks to him online on Facebook or something. Or
yeah, I do.
Yeah,
we exchange conversations.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, hey, mate, that'd be really good. Keep up the good work. Hey, how about trying to get some funding and make some really solid A-grade movies and have them go through the cinema?
Well, he's probably done a few good stuff, and I like to... I
have to go check him out.
Yeah.
I can't find anything on Wikipedia or anything on him.
Well, you just have to find his...
I was looking for it. I couldn't find him.
Stomper
I'll go
films.
And have a look at that next.
That's probably the best way to find out a little more.
Yeah, that's his production company, is it?
Yeah, and you might find his YouTube channel there.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I might do that, because honestly, this guy's a talent.
This guy is really good.
Now, I'm going to go for it. I couldn't find the normal Rotten Tomatoes and that sort of stuff, which I like going through. But I did find some reviews off a place. And most of the people are going, hey, really, really good. Here's one. I won't mention names. These are private people. So, another great Friday film from Womp Stomp. Jason is scary and intimidating. He's brutal and he is used perfectly. Yada, 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 yada.
True.
And this person gives it 8 out of 10. Okay?
All right, cool.
Now, next one says, one of the very few fan films worth watching. Not only this being the third installment, it's just as good as the other two. Womp Stomp films coming for heads in the industry.
Sweet.
That's what we just said. He's going really, really good. And this person gives them 10 out of 10. Jason lives again. This is head and shoulders and torso and legs and feet above all the other fan films. I love that. That's a really good line. I can't keep that. I might use it myself one day. Not only of the Friday franchise, but all fan films in general.
Yeah, if this was like when they did Halloween 2018 once, this would be great if this was a complete conclusion to the other Jason Voorhees, Jason Lives one. Obviously.
I was actually saying that. I was halfway through it. Fan films in general. Such care was obviously put into this being a love letter to the past and to all the fans who love this iconic horror villain.
Right.
What an amazing job they did. 8 out of 10. What else? Another one here. Another one too. Another one here. The second part. The second part is even better than the first part. Fan film? ? No way. This movie is far better than 80% of nowadays slashers. Keeping in mind the budget. Not knowing what the budget is, but I'd say it was done on a skinny budget being a fan film. It's a piece of art for fans like me that love Jason and Friday the 13th. And here is something. First, the FX are quite good. It doesn't look cheap or bad. Same thing I said. It looks like a really, really good cinema quality. It was just a bit short for cinema quality. It needs to be a bit longer. They really use some old tricks to show Yeah, they really use some old tricks to show some blood here and there, and almost no use of CGI, which keeps me, Sarah and I, quite happy because we don't like CGI used all the time. It's good as a tool, but don't use it all the time.
Yeah, I like I like the original stuff where you just use special effects makeup and using actual locations, weather permitting, stuff like that.
Yeah, and the person goes on to say, I love the acting. I mean, it's a slasher, so don't expect an Oscar-winning interpretation, and you'll be fine. Blah, blah. But he thought Jason's presence on screen, which was played by Vincent and this other guy, really kept up that atmosphere. Yeah, really good. Another one here. Never Hike Alone 2 takes the threads from Never Hike Alone and Never Hike Alone in the Snow and ties them up into a gruesome little bow, delivering the splatter we want with added depth. They give it 9 out of 10.
I wonder, though, the part where we see Tommy and the sheriff arguing, did they shoot that at the same time when they were shooting the first Never Hike Alone? Maybe it was. Maybe
leftover footage.
Maybe they were thinking of cutting that for when they were doing the Never Hike Alone, because to keep the story moving, without giving away too many spoilers.
And my last one.
Go on.
Okay, here you go. Honestly, this doesn't feel or look like a fan film at all. Some of the best cinematography in the entire franchise. Vincent, it's got his name spelled wrong here. Vincent DiSanti and the teens' passion for Friday the 13th comes out in every scene.
Ooh.
You're getting studio quality here, but with a cohesive storyline that pulls off a great ending to the Tommy Jarvis plotline we never got. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so yeah, every comment here is going great. And this person gave it, well, I can't see what, I didn't see, no, I've got it. I get the way they're talking, I reckon to go 8 or 9 or 10 out of 10. So there you go then. Everyone loves it. And we love it. And I hope Vincent and his crew love what they did, because I think it's great. How's that? Are we going to rate it now?
Yeah, we might as well rate it now.
We can't tell. I don't want to have that talk about making crap up, because but there's nothing much. I haven't got any werewolves actually. Probably the same place.
Probably the same locations.
Same location,
maybe.
But I'm going to give this.
But adding a few new locations like the hospital
but
parts.
I'm talking about where the camp was.
Go on.
I can't find anything wrong with it.
Me neither.
I'm going to give it 10 out of 10.
I'm going to give it 10.5 out of 10.
Ooh.
Which is make it even more extra special, in my opinion.
Vincent and his crew, I haven't got a list of all the people, the audio and cinema people and all the other actors and stuff. I mean, there's lots of bit actors and bits here and there and voiceovers.
I do kind of respect Vincent for doing it the old-fashioned filmmaker way by, making sure everyone is involved and not I like the old-fashioned way of making films. I don't like the new CGI stuff.
CGI, I keep saying CGI is good as a tool to help out. It shouldn't take over from the creative talents of the individuals. Yeah,
because I like the hands-on approach in filmmaking.
If you want to cut somebody's head off in a film, well, you don't really cut the head off, but if you slash at them with hopefully a plastic machete and hit him in the neck, and then you get some fake blood being pumped out the neck with a plastic tube, it can look more real than a CGI version.
Yeah, and I like how some of these guys would use real prosthetic limbs and for effect.
Yeah. I mean, and you cut into it. It's a piece of what do you call it? Latex or whatever they make it out of.
Latex meat or
whatever they make it out of, and it looks so damn effective. If you look at things like, remember House MD? I showed the documentary about it behind the scenes.
Yes.
All the body parts they had to do the surgeries and everything with. He had open chest with all the organs and stuff and different things, and I had you had syringes which looked like you had stuff in it, and you put him in their arms. Everything made it look so real. Going, is that real? And that's what they used. They didn't use special effects, not CGI special effects. They used manual special effects, and they work. So yeah, all I'm saying is that CGI is a tool which should not be overused.
Yeah.
However, having said that,
yes. So I feel that Vincent is going to be the next Wes Craven or
I
John
think
Carpenter.
so. I like to think so. This guy is very talented, and I think if he's a smart man, he'll keep the same crew, same camera guy, audio people, whatever, because something clicks, yeah, and you can't always get a cohesive team. Yeah, and it works. Yeah. And whoever did the post edit, they did really good.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's about it from us, guys. So our views on this movie. Now, it's up to you guys to actually watch the thing. I'll put a link at the bottom of this so you can actually go to the
YouTube link.
Yeah, the YouTube link.
Yeah, this is really good, but it's cheap. You don't have to worry about buying it or hiring it. So you got no excuse not to watch this one. Mm-hmm. And if you really, 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 really like it, when it comes out on eBay later on, buy a copy to help Vincent and his people out, okay?
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, that's about it from us, from Boys and Ghouls Film Review. It's a bit of a short
one tonight because we haven't got any extra information to tell you.
So this is Sarah Stephenson
and Michael
saying see you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review. We'll see you guys for our next episode. Bye for now.
Guys.